Hi, everybody. A spousal caregiver said to me the other day, well, I guess I just have to go down with my husband. And this particular caregiver was putting that in the context of my husband is sick. I'm providing 24-hour care. My health is also not good, and I don't have any choices. So my husband is going to pass away and die, and I'm going to be right there with him. So this video is for spousal caregivers who care for a husband or a wife who today may need 24/7 care or who over time will need 24/7 care. And it's also for their adult children who may be helping out in these situations to help you look at the future, have discussions today, and understand that there are more possibilities. One person doesn't always have to go down with the other. And I also want to talk about why caregivers might feel that way. So let's say you're caring for a spouse who has heart disease or lung disease or a lot of physical disabilities, and they need a lot of care. Marriages are often unexpectedly derailed by a sudden illness or an accident, or over time, the slow progression of health issues that get worse and worse and worse. And this happens to individuals too. So not only people in marital relationships, but people like, people like you, people like me, who may be living by themselves and experience these health issues, but have partners or companions or things like that. Also, second marriages. So second marriages can be interesting because perhaps it's a second marriage because that man or that woman were a caregiver in their prior relationship and their spouse passed away. And maybe that care situation lasted for years. And now all of a sudden they're in a second marriage. And what happens, but totally out of the blue, the person they married, the husband or wife, all of a sudden has health issues, and it's going to be another caregiving situation. So in a sense, this person is repeating the care situation that just ended with the death of a spouse with a new spouse. And they're thinking, "Oh, I don't know if I'm up for this. I don't know if I can go through with this again. I just got out of this. And here I am. I'm looking forward to another 5, 10, or 15 years of being a caregiver." This is the reason that sometimes second marriages end in separation or early divorce, because the caregivers say, well, I didn't sign up for this. I got married again because I wanted to enjoy the rest of my life, wanted to enjoy good health with a person. But yet that may not have been part of the discussion before the marriage, or something unexpected happened. So if you are in a relationship, if you are a spousal caregiver, if you're a caregiver for yourself, know that illness is at some point in your life, it can just drop in and change everything overnight. Even something as simple as, let's talk about a physical disability. So you and your spouse, super active. Your husband goes on a bike ride one day, he falls and he breaks a hip and he needs hip surgery. And he has the surgery. But after the surgery, he's not fully recovered. So he's not comfortable going out for bike rides or on hikes or doing a lot of the physical things that the couple used to do together, either because the person's afraid of injuring themselves again, or they just, for whatever reason, they physically can't do it. They don't have the stamina. They haven't recovered. So the question is, what does the healthy active spouse do in this situation? Do you give up everything you used to enjoy? Hiking, bike riding, playing tennis, golf, swimming, water skiing, whatever it was. Do you give up all of that because your spouse or your companion can no longer do that? If you're considering that, what will be the short and long-term effects on you emotionally and physically and your health? Interesting, right? you were a super active person. And now, because of the inability of your partner to participate, you're going to give up all this part of your life. So the question is, are you comfortable having a discussion with your husband or wife or your companion or your partner to say, I understand that you can't do these things, either because you're afraid that you're going to hurt yourself or physically you just can't do them. But they have been a part of my life so long that I want to continue doing this. So how do we be comfortable with this in our relationship? And are you willing to investigate some things that you can do based on your current abilities? So it's kind of like saying, I'm going to continue to do these things because I can. I realize you can't. What else can we find to replace these activities for you, even if you are doing those activities with a different group or a club or someone else? I may participate sometime, but I want to go and do these things. That is part of having a healthy relationship and realizing that each partner's health, where it stands, up here, down here, back and forth, up and down, each partner's health is eventually going to impact their life and change their life. And is it really fair to say, well, I'm going to give up everything because you can't do this, if you continue to commit to help them and be their caregiver? Now, when you say this, your spouse may initially feel guilty or feel bad or may feel left out, but it's important to look at this bigger picture. If you're going to continue to be that caregiver who has to take on more responsibility and do more things, you've got to protect your health and your well-being, because so many times, like in the situation that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the health of one spouse can quickly take down the health of another spouse. And then you're both there saying, well, I guess we got to both go down with the ship. We got to both go down together. It doesn't have to be that way. So I talked to so many spouses who are in this situation, spouses who have given up everything to be the caregiver. I encourage you not to do that for your own well-being and so that you can continue to be that caregiver. Because giving up things that you love, giving up your friendships, giving up your social activities, having health problems because you're the caregiver, that is a huge impact up here emotionally on the way that you think and you perceive things and the functioning of your brain. So stress can play a mind game with us. It can make us feel less capable. We lose our confidence. We lose our self-esteem. We lose the belief that we can succeed through challenge or persevere through challenge, which really is why I believe that the spousal caregiver said, well, I guess I just got to go down with the ship. I got to go down with my husband. So if you're the children watching this with your parents, I encourage you to be supportive and realize that they do have different needs. I mean, they may be your parents, but they're still individual people who can have a lot of life left to live, even if they do have a chronic disease, or even if the healthy caregiver has other things that they want to pursue in life, they should be able to do that. So feeling hopeless if you're the spouse, feeling futile, like nothing I do is going to make a difference. I'm burned out. There's no money to pay for care. Somewhere deep down, you have to find that spark again. You got to find the energy to fight for yourself. You got to find the energy to be around people who encourage you, even if those people are not your children. As a caregiver, it's not necessary to go down with the ship because the person that you care for has health issues and they are more likely to pass away before you are. So I encourage you, find that spark, seek help, join a caregiver support group, take a class, become more educated, seek people who will inspire you and bring you up and give you hope. Spend time with your friends. Create a path today in your caregiving situation so that you have a life separate of caregiving that you can continue after caregiving ends. Because in sickness and in health doesn't mean going down with the ship. It means that you're committed to care for the person that you are married to, partnered with, have a relationship with, they're your companion. You're going to care for them. But to care for them, you also have to value your life and care for yourself. And while it can be very difficult to go on after the loss of a spouse, if you have this part of your life set up before that happens, the transition will be easier. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Thanks for being here for this very difficult conversation, whether you are a spousal caregiver or whether you are an adult child, helping your parents and watching the changes in their relationship. Because remember, you may one day be in a similar situation as your parents, and look at the wisdom and knowledge that you will have gained. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. Sorry, my voice is getting a little scratchy. There is a lot of hope, help, support there. My caregiver online courses, my podcast, The Caring Generation, articles, videos, so much help and support for caregivers. I encourage you to share this video, share it with other people that you know. Check out my website, a lot of hope, help, and support there. And I will see you all again soon in another video.